Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second part of our doubleheader here on RaceSpot TV, streaming live and iRacing Live. Welcome to the second part of RaceSpot TV Race Day, and welcome to one of the best racetracks in the world. You just saw a video about Le Mans. Well, this track also hosts a 24-hour race. This track also hosts a round of the FIA World Endurance Championship. It also hosts a Grand Prix race. Today, it is going to be centre stage for the first round of a new series. A new series of Formula Renault 2.0. It is also the third leg of our RaceSpot TV primetime treble header. You guys voted so close between IndyCar and Formula Renault, we decided, hey, we have to do both of them, and that is exactly what we're going to do here today. So welcome then to Spa. Will Vincent Jakesbury qualifying is underway here. There you can see the track. It's not 2 laps here. Honest, it is a total of 12 laps worth of racing here today. Air temp, it's cool, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 52% humidity, and wind speed of 15 kilometers an hour. Well, Jake, we are all set for another fantastic draft fest here, just like what we saw last time by qualifications. You want to be in the top 10 if you want to go for the race victory, but then hold on to your seats.
Yes, most certainly the Formula Renault key with slipstream. You find yourself going up the Kemmel Straight, of course. Kemmel Straight being an uphill straight, meaning that the slipstream effect gets even more of a boost as you get pulled up alongside the top straight. And well, don't forget, it's not just about the Kemmel Straight that makes the moves. Of course, you have that lovely run out of Stavelot, Curverpool for air, and then you head yourself through the long sweeping left-hander of Blanchimont, the run to the chicane, and it will certainly be one to look out for. Qualifying here is going to be very difficult. Of course, it is a very long lap here. You are looking at laps of over 2 minutes long, so qualifying, it's paramount to get it correct, Will.
Yeah, you'll see on the left-hand side of your screen, the times will tick through at the moment. We're looking at Sam Bullock-Bassi as Yuka Sovalainen goes fastest. Then Silvastri looking for Bullock-Bassi. He's actually just starting a lap there, so why are we looking at him? I have no idea. Philippe Leber, and you can see as actually Reitfeld goes fastest. Leber up into third, so Jeffrey Reitfeld, there we can see him then. We're on board. He's going to start that second lap. And well, he will have enough time to get that one in. He'll cross the start-finish line about 45 seconds to go. But Jeffrey Reitfeld there, scoring first blood. Then it's Silvastri, then Leber, Sovalainen, then Prato. Of course, a new season, new names, new people to pay attention to. And Reitfeld looks very strong right now.
Yes, Jeffrey Reitfeld really looks like he's put the hammer down. You look at his times, he is 7/10 quicker than anybody else on circuit at the moment. A 2:59 just shows exactly what he's capable of here as he heads himself through a Rivage. And now into the corner with no name here. Very difficult, unstated corner for just how difficult it is. You can see he runs all the way to the right-hand side there. Starting to struggle a little bit. You've got to be really wary of off-tracks here. They are really close to the circuit, but you can see just how important it is to get the right lap in at exactly the right time.
First sector, he went faster than what he did last time, a 53.289 compared to a 53.496. He'll get that second split time any moment now on the exit of the Fangir chicane. A little bit of counter steer there for him. 22.550, faster again in sector number 2 for Jeffrey Reitfeld. So he's looking as though he could well be on course to go even faster in his second lap. He's only really now got one big braking zone to go. That one will be down into the bus stop chicane. Let's have a look then at Silvastri, because he will come in towards that bus stop chicane first. We go on board of him for a moment. Yuni Silvastri then, number 14, finished driver. Of course, we saw the ES finish Sim Racing Championship a moment ago. Let's see what this driver can do. Can he move himself up to pole position? 115.9 is what he needs. The answer to that question is going to be, I don't think so. He ain't going to go any faster than that as he works himself now through La Source. And well, it's worth noting here that some of these guys, they're getting themselves some good lap times that no one else has really been able to break into that 2:15 range. So Jeffrey Reitfeld then clearly is faster than anyone else on track. He is just spellbindingly, and I mean that, spellbindingly quick as he goes now into the 115.8 range. This is fantastic by him.
Yeah, it's absolutely sensational to see Rietveld here. He's just being a breath of fresh air, and nobody can even go close. You look at Bollock Bassi, you look at Silvasti, Savalainen, Mr. 2K Cup, Philippe Lebert. They can't touch him right now. It's amazing to see exactly what's going on here, and especially in a session with half a minute to go, I think the last guy coming across the line will be Christian Koch there in what is, I believe, the number 8 machine. Hasn't set a lap time yet. We know he has the potential to be midfield pace, but it's just a case of can he do it? Passes the GP start-finish straight, and then heads himself for last source right now, and what will be your Le Mans Grand Prix starting place. Of course, that is where your start-finish line is, Will.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. I don't think he's going to make it in time. He's not going to make it in time. Christian Koch isn't going to be able to do so. He doesn't get the lap in. Oh, my word, indeed. He will be starting from well down your field. Let's get that grid up on your screen very, very quickly for you. As you can see, Jeffrey Rietveld then, the only driver in the 2-minute 15s. In fact, there's no one faster than a 2:16.5 apart from him. Bollock Bassi second, Uni Sebastian in third, Yuka Sovalainen in fourth. That grid will cycle up for you. Jake, I'm going to say one thing. This is going to be crazy.
It's going to be absolutely amazing to see. Of course, you got to remember how that slipstream comes into effect. If you can break half a second, you can break being overtaken up into what is the fantastic Les Combes section. Of course, it's going to be this pit straight here that you see. You're going to go into Eau Rouge, then into Radion. It's going to be very easy to get it wrong. But of course, we do run it this way because there are less incidents after the last source hairpin. Everyone will be tight and everyone will be there, careful and cautious to see.
Yep, there's a look then. That is where the GP start-finish line is. That's a look towards last source. Instead, we're going to start by climbing up the hill, and that means we're going to see 3, we're going to see 4 wide. Yeah, welcome to Circuit Spa-Francorchamps, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go racing for 12 laps here this afternoon. A part of RaceBot TV Primetime. You pick the series, we broadcast them free of charge to the iRacing community. Bish, bash, bosh. Pro GT on Wednesday. You've then got yourself Verizon IndyCar Series on Friday, and then on Sundays you get yourself Formula Renault 2.0. There is a very classic pit box on your left, pit complex even, on the left-hand side of your screen. Waiting for the last couple of drivers to head themselves down to the starting grid. There you can see the flagman. He's standing around doing a little dance here, as we'll just zoom in on your field. As soon as they get themselves up the hill, who knows what is going to happen. A new series of Formula Renault 2.0 starts now. Here we go, in towards the Eau Rouge Radial complex for the first time. Who will make it work as they're going to work themselves up the hill? And you can just see they're going to run themselves 2 wide through Eau Rouge, battle for P number 4 and 5. But this is where the craziness is going to start. On the exit of Radial, look at all these cars funnel through mighty quick. And hopefully they're all going to make it through without too much of an incident. And let's get a look from our aerial coverage. They are 3 wide already as they head themselves down into Les Combes for the first time. Battle for the race lead as well there with Rietveld and the driver of someone. He's running himself P number 2. That is Sam Bollock Bassi. But Bassi goes into play. We've got one driver turned around. That's Mikel Lamarux. But we still got some fantastic racing up and down your field. So much so they're 3 wide and we've got trouble down at Rivage.
Yes, we do. You can see they're all fighting, all scrapping, all clawing, all looking to try and get themselves through. It's like a swarm of bees here. You can see they're all pushing. You can see still into the corner with no name. They're still trying to funnel and sort themselves out. Still got a battle going on. Renault Decamo in the number 5 here. He's under threat from another driver as well, and that's Dylan Vandenberg. Vandenberg gets himself through, and Decamo off the back of a fantastic result in the Rubens Barrichello Challenge, looking to try and get a good result. But at the moment, you look at Rietveld, you look as he heads through the Fania chicanes for the first time, you can see Rietveld now starting to try and open that gap from Bollock Bassi and also Silvasti, because you can see just how amazing his pace is starting to be already. Yeah,
still 2 wide racing for some of these drivers as they run through Stavolo 1 into Stavolo 2, and this is fantastic to see all of these guys really pushing it flat out to the limit, as now they'll come down into the bus stop chicane. We're going to go on board then with the driver of Sam Bollock Bassi. Let's see how this draft will work when he's closed up 2 tenths of a second already on the run down into the bus stop chicane. You don't make your passes here, Jake, often. You set yourself up for a run into La Source or into Les Combes.
Most certainly, you can see on the brakes down to the right-hander, using a lot of curb into the left-hander. Make sure you avoid those massive sausage curves on the inside. That's the big deterrent for you to make sure that you don't cut the circuit as much as you can. You can see the run here, the run that Reitveld has just had. Heads himself now down in towards last source for the very first time. On the brakes there, a little bit of trail braking, goes a little bit wider there, gets a bit of a twitch, a massive twitch behind though from Bollock Bassi on cold tyres. That's going to allow Juni Silvasti to really close up. I doubt that Silvasti here, Will, is going to make the move up into Eau Rouge. I think he'll wait for the Kemmel Straight and wait for the opportunity of second to arise.
You just saw from the rear there, Scott McIntyre has had himself an incident down at La Source. We haven't really got time to show you any replays because it's all action-packed.
Contact!
On board.
Yeah, we got contact there. Hugo Preto involved. I believe we do have a car turnaround, and that is Simon Schultz there up at Radion. He's done so well to keep it going, Will. Sorry to cut you off like that, but he has got himself turned around and was very lucky not to collect anyone else. Yeah,
we saw at the same time, Juni Silvasti now up into P number 2. He's past them, Bollock Bassi. Got another slow car, that's Hugo Preto. That is down at Lecumbe. So Hugo Preto's day goes from bad to worse in this event so far. But Bollock Bassi losing P number 2 in this event to the driver of Juni Silvasti. And whilst all that's happened, it's worth noting that Reitveld has pulled out now to 9 tenths of a second advantage. These two people carrying on battling, who will allow Reitveld to break the toe, and after that, he can drive away into the Spa sunset.
Yes, he can. He's really showing his one-lap paces. Certainly not a fluke here. Heads himself now down to Fania on the brakes here. You can see he's just going to be calm. He's just going to be cool. He's just going to be consistent there. Just running the racing line comfortably. Doesn't have to do anything. A little bit like Nico Rosberg earlier on today. Just needs to break away, and once he does, nobody is going to catch him. He'll set off into the sunset. But you do have to look behind here at the battles that go on. The likes of Rafael Draskas here, who is in a fantastic little scrap with Bruno Tacamo here. And on the back of them is Isaac Garcia Dominguez, Nicholas Landau, and Jesus Sayers as well. It's a lovely 5-car scrap here. They're going to go 2x2. Expect some moves right now, Will.
Meanwhile, Philippe Leber has moved himself now past the driver of Marc Perez in towards Blanchimont, the second fastest corner on this racetrack. Behind there, you can see Rafael Draskas, a little bit more side-by-side racing as they head themselves through Blanchimont. And behind, you've got yourself, this is Lando there in that Club France number 16 machine, free wide in towards the bus stop. And hey, they're all going to make it survive just for a moment on board Orlando though, because he's got himself a car just ahead of him. That is Rafael Draskas on the exit of the bus stop chicane, heading themselves down in towards La Source. Out front though, this is very close for the race lead. We need to turn our attention to this one because Bollock Bassi is right on the coattails now of that driver of Juni Silvasti. And actually, what's happened to Jeffrey Reitveld? He's pulled out 1.5 seconds now. This is what we were talking about. Bollock Bassi is now going to go to the outside of Juni Silvasti, but they have been scrapping it out, and now Jeffrey Reitveld is 1.5 seconds ahead of these two drivers. If they stay by side into Lecumbe, this race is pretty much over already.
Most certainly, I think it was an own goal from Bollock Bassi as he chops the nose there of Juni Silvasti. Silvasti has to wait behind. That was a move of faith there from Sam Bollock Bassi. Does a fantastic job to get the move through. I thought he'd scored an own goal there. He moved out of the slipstream so early because he was just behind, couldn't get any overspeed. Just got alongside, made the move sorted, and now he moves himself up with a little bit of breathing space right now into second place. You can see the moves now starting to make in. Your movers and shakers all starting to take effect here. It's fantastic up and down your field, Will.
Marc Perez had an incident down at Lecumbe. He's now down in P number 9 on track, and I think that might have been with Philippe Leber. I cannot verify that at this stage, but in fact, yeah, it would have been with Philippe Leber in the number 4 machine. So there is another incident, this one towards the front of your field. Let's get then your top 15 on the left-hand side. Note the fact that the start of finish line, 1.6 seconds between Reitveld and Bollock Bassi. That's up to 1.8 seconds already. Marc Perez versus Bruno Tacamo. Those two are scrapping it out. Behind, you've got yourself Adam Gosling versus the driver of Isaac Garcia Dominguez. So many little battles going up on track here, Jake, that we need to keep our eye out on. But it's also worth noting, Yukoslav Leinen has caught your front 2 drivers. He is now there battling in the mix, and he's still got that little trolley train going on behind as well, with Cesar Umgod, Bruno Tacamo, Marc Perez, Nicholas Lando, and Rafael Draskas.
Yeah, most certainly. You can see here the run's heading down towards the chicane right now. You can see DeCamo. He's going to stay calm. He's going to stay nice and comfortable on the brakes there. Lovely lines taken into the chicane, and he doesn't really have to worry too much at the moment. But what everyone does have to worry about is this trolley train that starts to form behind Cesar Armengol right now. You can see he does have a little bit of a gap at the moment. That is around half a second. Heads himself down to the Lassour's hairpin, which is normally the first corner, but this time it's the last. You can see gets a lovely little run out of it, but I don't think he's got enough here, Will, to break slipstream here. Heads himself across the start-finish line, heads himself up once again here on the 4th lap of your motor race, here to Eau Rouge, to Radion, and you're going to see that gap start to close in. I don't think it's going to be enough, but you can see the train all the way back to Adam Gosling.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, the reason why we're saying 1.5 seconds race over is because of this. Reichfeld 2.1 seconds ahead has now clearly broken that toe to P2, 3 and 4. Now Bullock Bassi has to play defense with Johnny Savasti and Jukka Sovalainen. These guys scrapping out. Bruno DeCamo, Mark Perez, Cesar Amgord. That one continues to scrap out as well. These little packets and pockets of drivers that are going on. It is worth noting that Bullock Bassi has now started to put away himself. He's 1 second ahead of Johnny Savasti, but it seems to be that you've got to play attack or defense in this race. Either play attack and just charge, or play defense and realise that sometimes you're not necessarily going to get past. You need to minimise time loss.
Most certainly, I think this is the ultimate game of chess. If you're going to go in and attack the guy down at Lake Coombe, you've got to be aware of the consequence if it doesn't quite pay off, because you know that there's going to be a guy behind you trying to make the move. Perfect example here is Bollock Bassi, Silvasti and Savalainen here. Bollock Bassi made the move sorted, he got it stuck, he got it there, and well, he knew that Silvasti here lost a little bit of time, and now Silvasti's going to have to play that defense game, as you stated before, Will. He's got Savalainen behind him there in 4th, and well, the gap at the moment around half a second when they last crossed the line. I think that's going to stay around about the same sort of area here, because there is still a toe, even though it is a very, very faint one.
Bruno DeCamo, he's on the move. He's trying to get himself past Cesar Amgord. He's going to go around the outside in towards Blanchenois. Be careful, boys. You're free of a racing car there on the inside. Bruno DeCamo on the outside in towards Blanchenois. You know what? I think actually that Cesar just gave him the move there. Going too wide into Blanchenois is scary at the best of times, but it does look as though that Cesar helped him out there. It's like, really? Okay, I'll let you pass. Minimise time loss. As behind, Mark Perez is trying to regain a little bit. Christian Koch, we talked about him. Oh, trouble down. 3 cars almost involved in that one. I was talking about Koch for a moment there. So they're going to go 4 wide in towards Lassource. And the fact that he has danced himself through the field at the start of this race, that will be a little blot on his copybook, though, because he did instigate a bit of an incident down into that bus stop chicane. And you can see there, he's got himself Hugo Preto just ahead of him, and a car side by side right now. That is going to be Isaac Garcia Dominguez, who is now just cleared on the run into Eau Rouge, like number 5 or 12 already. As just ahead, here's Hugo Preto. Once again, let's go side by side in towards Lecum.
Yeah, most certainly you can see 2 wide, looking to go 3 wide. Dominguez looking to thread the needle here. Head yourself down the camel straight. Head for Lake Coombe. Let's see if it's all going to pay off. Koch, at the moment with the advantage here. On the brakes they go. And it's Preto's going to have to play defensive. Danny inside. Koch holds on for the time being, showing exactly what he can do here. Fighting from the back of the field now. Moves up to 14th. That's plus 10 so far this race for the guy in what is Evo Sonic colours right now. You can see exactly why Christian Koch made that move where he did. And actually going back to the incident he had earlier on down at the bus stop chicane, the car was always going to track out, Will. He was always going to be in a place where he had to rely on the guy ahead of him to give him a little bit of room. Room wasn't really given, and that was where the tangle occurred.
Yep, running on board now with the driver of Cedar Amgord, but he's still scrapping it out with Mark Perez. He has lost that place now to Caro to Perez. He's got Jesus Says right behind him. It's worth noting that in your battle for P number 2, it's closed back up again. Now 6 tenths of a second between Bullock Bassi and Johnny Savasti. This is the reason why we say 1.5 seconds really is that marker, because anything less than 1.5 seconds with the 3 very long straightaways you have here, Jay, it means you can get that huge toe and that huge slipstream. And you can just tell here, actually, that Savasti is able to gain a couple of miles an hour advantage because of the fact he's what I like to call phase 1 of the draft. He's getting the most of that air being pushed away to help him go a little bit faster.
Yeah, most certainly. You look at the guy at the front, Bollock Bassi, right now. He's trying to punch the hole through the air, trying to push his car to be as quick as he can possibly be. At the moment, you look at Bollock Bassi, he's pushing, he's trying his hardest here to try and break away, get back to Jeffrey Reitfeld right now. Heads himself down into the last horse hairpin, and you can see that effect that happens if you get in that slipstream. Of course, you do have less air coming into you, you've got less friction or air resistance, as it were, which means that the car can effectively use more of its power, use more top speed, can go faster, and can actually close in on Bollock Bassi. You can see the run through Eau Rouge and Radion right now. You can see exactly how Silvasti will close up in the next few seconds.
Yeah, although it is worth noting, and this is some of the things we sometimes see, these Formula Renaults, the downforce settings on them, sometimes they don't gain as much as other cars. Realistically, we've only seen that car gain a 1/10 of a second in towards Lacombe, and it doesn't seem to be as low. Silvasti can really do anything in that draft, as we see Draskas actually behind. He's right on the rear now as they come down in towards that sequence of corners, that right, left, right flick. And, well, Draskas is scrapping out of Nicholas Landau right now. And behind you got Adam Gosling versus Isaac Garcia Dominguez. Moves and shakers on the left-hand side of your screen. And outside of the picture, Christian Quintanuschi up 5 places so far in this event.
Yeah, Christian Quintanuschi there's done so well for the Iberica Outlet right now. He's running his own race. He's there in 6th. He's +5. He's got Felipe Leber, Mr. 2K Cup up ahead of him. And, well, you got to look behind. There's Bruno De Carmo. That gap has completely opened up there with Marc Perez. You can see Cesar Armengod's lost a lot of time as well. Gaps now starting to filter out. So Landau and Draskas will be one of your closest battles right now. Draskas not quite close enough at the moment here as he heads for Fagnes, but he's going to set it up for Blanchimont.
Indeed, so let's go and have a look then on board with Adam Gosling in that number 20 machine. Let's actually ride a couple of corners on board of him and give you some Racesport TV fan immersion. Well, there you can see what it's like to do a couple of corners on board with a mid-pack car, but they're side by side right now with Gosling, and he is scrapping out. He's just actually been passed by Caleb Basil, and this is the battle for P17 on track as it stands. Just give a bit of an update then through your field. Jeffrey Reitfeld, he's got himself now a 3.2 second advantage. He's now seems to be managing the gap. Last time by a 216.3 for Reitfeld, a 216.4 for Sam Bullock Bassi, but Bullock Bassi lost out really in this motor race back on lap number 2, Jake.
Yeah, most certainly. You could see he fought with Silvasti. Silvasti found his way through. The second was bridged, and then by then it was just a case of no way back. There was no opportunity here to make himself a way through, but in the time that we spent there looking at Gosling...
Oh, but Bassi just spun! Bullock Bassi just spun on the exit of the final chicane. I just saw a driver there as we were on board. We need to get ourselves a second look, but Bullock Bassi is going to lose a shed load of time as a consequence. Replay coming up from on board of him. And this is down into... Actually, no, we're not necessarily going to be able to get a replay of this one. We'll try and see what we can do. This is it. Down into the final chicane. Just... Oh, lost the car there. I want to see if we can just rewind it a tiny bit further back. Here we are. From the exit of Pouant now down into Fagnes. Let's listen in. Simple case of the back end stepping out. That's all it was, Jake.
Yeah, it was. It's a real shame for Bullock Bassi, who now drops down the field like a stone here. He has got himself away past Cesar Armengol right now, and his next challenge here on circuit will be the car of Marc Perez in the number 2 machine here for Bolot-Bassi. He's got to do a lot of work to get himself back to where he was, but it's just a case of just staying calm, staying in the right mentality here, because once you make a mistake, I know so many drivers who just get a massive hot head and just go all out guns blazing and end up making more mistakes, Will.
Yep, Gonzalo Camara versus Rafael Draskas. This is P12 versus P13 as they work themselves down. This is Air Rouge. This is not Air Rouge, this is Renault, as they work themselves up the hill. And one of the things I was just thinking about, Jake, was last time we were here, we saw so much passing, so much pack racing. I want to put up the Racebot TV stat fact here. As you'll see, Draskas has got Christian Koch looking to go down the inside in towards, they're almost going to go free wide in towards Lecombe, and Koch is actually going to go round the outside into the corner and will get the pass forward complete. But one of the things I was thinking of, as we get the weather stat up, 15km/h wind, the crosswinds will really hurt drivers here.
Yeah, most certainly. You look at the crosswind, it's one of those undeniable factors that nobody really pays attention to. If you do have a crosswind here, you don't know how much it actually unsettles the car down straight. It actually takes away some of that factor here and actually makes it just so much more difficult to make the passes. That's why we've seen a little bit less, but you've got to give some credit actually to Christian Koch there on Rafael Draskas, because they were switching themselves side to side to side, and in the end the move was made there by Koch around the outside. Very, very good, but Draskas has now started to fall back like a stone. Hugo Prato looking at it and gets really, really close to the back end there, Will.
Yeah, we've got some fantastic scraps going on then throughout your field. Let's go on board with that driver of Hugo Prato. We do so now. This is the exit of Stavelot versus Draskas, and now these two are going to be pretty much side by side in towards Blanchimont, we would so think. There's the speed trap then for Hugo Prato. He's going to look to the inside. We'll take the inside line. Draskas like, you know what, go on, have it, in towards Blanchimont. Sometimes it is the easier option to do. We've talked about it already in this race, I'll talk about it again. It isn't necessarily track position, it's time gained and time lost when you make these passes. And well, Draskas, he wants to look back to the outside in towards the Bostock chicane. That will be cheeky. Will he be able to do so? They stay. No, they won't. Draskas will have to wait another time. But as they come out the corner, we go back on board. And you see that Prato has really now been able to pull out one car length advantage. But as they come up the hill next lap, there'll be something going on. Koch versus Camara in towards La Source. Let's go on board then with Christian Koch. He is a man on the move right now today. Up 10, make that 11 places in this event so far. And well, he's, 11 places. Let's make that 12, shall we say, coming up the hill.
Yeah, it's very much potential to happen. You can see the gap, about a 10th, moves across to the left-hand side there. Massive defensive move taken then by Gonzalo Camara, trying to break the slipstream as quickly as he can. Hasn't worked in the end because that meant that the run, more slipstream could be taken later on in the development of the straight, meaning that Koch could make the move quicker there. A little bit of a faux pas there from Gonzalo Camara. Through will go Christian Koch. He moves now up into 12th position, and Nicola Landau here, he's not too far down the straightaway here. Koch has a real opportunity to get at least 1 or 2 more positions here come the end of the race.
Yep, so this is that ongoing battle. We have got another one ahead. Bolot-Bassi versus Marc Perez. These two drivers working themselves down the hill right now. And, well, Jake, 2.5 tenths per second between these two. Last time by, Perez was slower. I believe Bolot-Bassi passed him. Perez has had a bit of a tough race here today.
Yeah, Marc Perez has really been struggling here in that number 2 machine here. He's been really trying to get himself in a position to push, in a position to challenge, and in the end, he hasn't really challenged. He's been making a couple of rare mistakes. We don't normally see them from Marc Perez, but now as he heads through Fan, you can see he's nice and tight there, but doesn't take as much curb on the outside. That implies that he took a little bit less speed there through. You can see he's actually starting to lose the back end a little bit. He's actually starting to lose time, Will, here to send Bolot-Bassi. Bolot-Bassi's putting on a masterclass right now on how to drive that infield section. Heads himself to Blanchimont, or heading up towards it now. You can see Marc Perez is struggling.
Yeah, he is, as a couple of drivers will be there, of course, especially the dirty lines starting to appear on this track. Different people take different lines in some of these corners. There is no such thing at Spa of a true perfect racing line. There are a couple of options, especially through the likes of Fogna, through the likes of Rivage as well. We're back on board with Hugo Prato. As is he going to look down to the inside of Draskas? Nope, not this time. But these two continue to flip-flop positions. There's going to be a total of 3 laps to go in this motor race. Top 8, bottom of your screen. Here we are. Gavasti, 5 seconds now behind your race leader. And it looks like Ratefeld's just managing that gap right now.
Yeah, Reitfeld's doing everything right at the moment in the number 1 machine. He's just shown everyone just how to drive the perfect race as he heads himself now down towards Lake Coombe. He's done a fantastic job. He's just done a 2:16.2 that time by. It's just calm. He hasn't really needed to break out and show that pace. He's been really, really consistent. We haven't really seen too many bad laps for him, but you've got to look at Quintanuski here. He's been caught by DeCarmo here down the Kemmel Straight. Looks to the outside goes DeCarmo. Can he get the move sorted? No. We'll have to wait through Lake On and Malmedy, the right-hander, leading to Rivage.
You know why he couldn't get the pass done?
Go on, tell me.
He's hitting the limiter. He hit the limiter about 3 times up the hill, and that's one of the things about these cars. You've got to set everything up working perfectly. And this is why I think people love this car so much, because there are more setup options available compared to what you'd have had in the Skip Barber 2.0 cars. We have a look there at some pretty trees. Thanks, Aussie Greg Hill. As Bruno DeCarmo then remains in position. But that's the thing, people generally set their car up either to work in clean air or in dirty air. Work in the draft, work by yourself. And it's one of those things that you often used to see in the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series in years by, which is why you had certain teams like INX Racing who were obviously fantastic in the draft. Then you had the likes of Redline. If they ever were out of position, had to move themselves forward, they would struggle more.
Yeah, most certainly. I think the most important thing about this is you see DeCarmo takes a little bit of a wider line there into what is Stavolo. You can see DeCarmo actually, I think, is running a shorter top gear than what is Christian Quintanuski right now. So you can see exactly how he's going to try and push it here. He's got a short gear and a long gear option. If you're going to run that long gear option, you have more potential to bog down. You can see, looks to the outside there, doesn't get the opportunity through Blanchimont, and now will have to wait in that slipstream, rely on his brakes here. Will the number 5 machine straight to the inside goes Christian Quintanuski. He's going to say, no, I'm going to defend this with my life. I want this 5th position. I need this 5th position.
I want to have a look from the rear of Christian Quintanuski, actually, as although it might well be academic for the time being, because let's go side by side in towards turn number 1. Bruno DeCarmo is going to try the outside line into that first corner. Who's going to make it work? The answer is going to be, well, Quintanuski will hold on for another moment, but now they come down the hill. It'll be interesting to see what will happen if they go side by side into this corner. Let's ride on board then with Quintanuski once again. 2 laps of this motor race to go, and I want to have a listen to the speed chart here for Christian Quintanuski, as he's got himself Bruno DeCarmo right behind, and DeCarmo gets himself the early advantage. You'll see that. Pulls himself alongside. Does he get clear? Barely, but the inside line still Quintanuski's if he wants it. He can't duck underneath, so Quintanuski does now lose that position to Bruno DeCarmo. I would think, though, that Quintanuski might have the opportunity to take that position back, because he didn't seem to be hitting the limiter at all there. The draft is always a different matter, however.
Yeah, draft's clearly something different here. You can see DeCarmo did all the work there up through Eau Rouge. That's the advantage of the short gear there. Of course, and you've got a car span around just ahead, and that's been the 2K cut. That's Philippe Lebert's turn. It gets himself off the racing line, and he's got to wait all that time for everyone to pass themselves through. It's just been a nightmare there for Philippe Lebert. Lost it at the corner with no name. Oh dear me, what a shame, Will.
He just caught the curb on the exit of the corner, that unsettled it. You can see those Michelin tyres are spinning, locking up. 2 drivers just avoiding. Another 2 drivers as well, as Philippe Lebert, he is now all the way down in P number 20. That is horrific for him there. Absolutely horrific. Let's go back then. Bruno DeCarmo versus Christian Quintanuski, because this is the first time we're really going to see. Actually, no, I take that back, because DeCarmo in second sector has pulled a mammoth advantage of 9 tenths per second. That is pretty much all he needed to do. And sometimes when you set your car up, Jake, you either set it up to work in sector number 1, sector number 3, or you set it to work in sector 2. What we saw there, DeCarmo, yes, he might not be as fast in a straight line, but in the twisty bits where it matters at this racetrack, he pulled out an advantage.
Yeah, he certainly showed what he could do down in the tight and twisty sections. You can see again down into the chicane here. He's done a fantastic job. I think he's got enough gap here as they head themselves on to the final lap of this race for the time being. But you can see there are still a couple of battles to be had here. You look at Christian Koch right now. He's got to deal with Nicola Landau, who hasn't broken away here at the moment. You can see they're going to be going at it for the final lap of the race. Actually, Landau's going to have a little look right now into last source. No, not going to happen on the brakes there. Down into last source. It's going to be a fantastic final lap. As you can see, just still a couple of things that need to be sorted out.
Indeed so, but for Jeffrey Reitfeld, he is 5.9 seconds ahead of the field. Nicolas Landau, let's go on board of him. This is going to be really his penultimate opportunity over Christian Koch as they come up the hill. This should actually be easy for Nicolas Landau as they work themselves now through this corner as they come down in towards Leclerc, there you can see he's ahead of Christian Koch. He's got himself a 1 mile an hour speed advantage for the moment. He'll be side by side. He won't be clear though into the corner, and that is going to mean they'll stay side by side for the moment. They'll stay side by side on the exit of Leclerc. They stay side by side through the next corner, down in towards Rivage they will come, and well, Lando does force himself through. Fantastic driving by him. Koch wants to get himself back down to the inside in towards Rivage, not able to do so. Out front, Jeffrey Reitfeld has though got himself less than half a lap to go. There you can see him through the fungus chicane. Jake, what a race by him.
Yeah, he's really just epitomised what it means to lead from start to finish. Fastest lap, you name it, he's done everything he needs to do. Heads himself now through the right-hander here of Curve of Paul Frere right now. Heads himself now towards Blanchimont. And it really has been a masterclass. It has been a schooling of every other driver here. If that's the standard that they've produced, then Jeffrey Reitfeld has just taken everyone else to another level.
Yep, so now literally just a couple of corners left to go for him. We'll give you an update when Landau versus Koch, they decide to change positions on this final lap of the motor race. But here comes Jeffrey Reitfeld then, down in towards the bus stop chicane. Out the bus stop chicane, now he's just got himself literally one corner to go. It is La Source, the slowest corner on the track. You'll see he slows that car down to about 35 miles an hour through the apex of the corner. In fact, he'll go a little bit faster now. He'll do it at about 55 miles an hour. On the exit of that, he works himself down the hill. Jeffrey Reitfeld will win here on the Formula Renault 2.0. No, Formula Renault 2.0 Cup. And he will win out here today. Joni Savasti coming home in second. Jukka Soivalainen will round out your top three. We'll give you an update. Koch versus Landau. Nothing has happened yet, but they're side by side in towards La Source. Let's get your photo finish cams up then, because Christian Koch is going to edge it. We think he's going to edge it. He will edge it then on the run to the line. Koch, final corner, final lap, gets himself past Nicholas Landau, and that is how you get yourself up into the top 10. Great racing overall, Jakers. The results will come up on your screen now.
Wow, what a race we've just seen there, Will. What a race that was. And actually, I was looking here at the Koch-Landau battle. There was a massive twitch into Blanchimont there from Christian Koch, but he did it at the final corner. It was a little bit of a dive, but he did a fantastic result there. And there you can see Jeffrey Reitfeld there, your race winner by 6 seconds, Will.
Thank you so much then to Jake Sperry. I have been Will Vincent, and let's have a look then at the remainder of your results. Don't forget, still to come here on RaceSpot TV this evening, we've got the Formula Renault 2.0 2K World Cup. And then we've got ourselves the iAdvance in the Elite Series as well. Thank you so much for being a part of RaceSpot Race Day here on RaceSpot TV. From Jake Sperry, Scott Woodwis, and myself, we shall talk to you all next time. Bye-bye. He's typing. He's typing. He's got it. He's got it.